Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War Tower of Doom stream, week 4, day 4. So, we are pretty much done with the actual event of it. We got all the way to the completion of 25, so we technically don't need to go any further because they don't bother giving those little scroll things for the final room for 26 or further. Unfortunately, my guild hasn't gone all the way yet, so we're just gonna have to wait for them. But yeah, we'll probably have the major orb tomorrow on that. I think we still have some people at 0, so it's probably one of the reasons why we're not there yet. But yeah, we still have 2 people at 0 and several that are still pretty low. Basically anything under 23 I would technically say is low because that's the minimum to make sure that everyone would get it done. I guess 20 plus is basically all you need though, because there's going to be people that go further, like ourselves. And with the lucky scrolls, it's quite a bit easier too. But actually, I'm the only person in the entire guild that bothered to finish yet. I don't know why, but they'll get around to it eventually. Anyways, let's go and go over spoilers for tomorrow. We, of course, do already know everything that's coming out tomorrow. We've known it for quite a while now, and now it should be definitive enough that they're probably not going to be changing it, though who knows, they have made last-minute changes, literally last minute, like before it launches changes. But as far as the info we currently know, let me just go bring that up real quick. I got the tab ready. Oops, I didn't expand it though. I also didn't, let's see, 1 second. Also forgot to make it the active window. That would help. I believe that is it. Yes, it is. There it is. Okay. So, let's go over the 5 things that are coming out tomorrow. We are getting 5 of them. This is the most viable of the 5. We are getting a brand new faction, so it's going to be bringing in a new faction weapon as well as a 4 troops with that. And we're also going to be getting a new mythic tomorrow, which is basically like a Ketris, but with stun, but not as good. It's kind of weird. I'm not sure exactly what it will be used for, because it seems like it doesn't function properly for anything, but we'll see. Anyways, this is actually the most viable out of all 5 things coming out tomorrow, and this is the Chief Dargon, legendary from the new faction, and it gives magic +6 attack to itself and all allies below it, so if it's in first slot, it's going to do it to everything, and then it explodes a row, and that's only for 13 mana cost. They actually ended up reducing that, didn't they? Let me see. Yeah, they did actually end up reducing that mana cost. Pretty sure it was 16 previously. That's actually really cheap for that ability. It's kind of like a viable Luther, essentially. It is dependent on being in first slot, but to a degree so is Luther because he has leadership trait. Not this thing, but the Luther, that is. And as far as traits, every single thing in this faction does have Razor Teeth, which inflicts bleed when doing skull damage, so all 4 of them have that. It's a minor way of placing bleed, not really anything excessively good, but still better than the non-existent mechanic that it currently is. It has stone skin, so 50% skull reduction. That's really important, given that it's going to be a first slot troop, so it can actually skull tank. And the most important thing about this thing, and the thing that's actually going to make bleed viable, as well as this troop viable, is it inflicts bleed on a random enemy every single red match it takes. So if you have 2 of them that will stack, you put them right up front, you got a double tank, you got a double attack buff for your entire team pretty much, and you'll just keep getting bleed after bleed after bleed. So it will be interesting to see how that exactly pans out. Pretty sure you'd only ever use 1 though. I think 2 might be a little overkill, given that you would need a bunch of other true damage troops to really make it work properly. But yeah, it has potential. It's not going to be like game-breakingly good, but it's pretty solid. Bleed, for any of you that don't know, since it's barely in the game right now, only like Magnus and Dragonet and a few others can really place it realistically. But basically what Bleed does is a new mechanic that came in 2 patches ago, and there's 4 stages of it. 1 stack, 2 stack, 3 stack, and 4 stack. And the 1 stack does 1 true damage per turn, the 2 stack does 3 damage per turn, true damage, so HP damage. The 3rd stack does, oh now I'm forgetting, I believe it's 7? It's 6 or 7, I actually forget now. I think it's 7. 7 damage per turn, and the 4th stack does 10 damage per turn, and all that is true damage. So, yeah, you can kill things pretty quick, particularly in early game. This thing's going to be insane if you just run double these in early game. I'd probably almost say this is the best faction to go for in early game. Now, just simply because if you fully trait this, double him into, like, Alchemist Moneylenders, this auto-win with just bleeding everything for 10 damage per turn to their HP is going to be really nice. Also, he has pretty decent troop art, too, so that's nice. It's always annoying when a really good troop has, like, average or below average troop art. But no, most of the time, the better troops do have better art. Anyways, here's the rare that's coming in from the faction. I don't believe any of the other three were anything too special, but still go over them real quick. Deals magic +4 splash damage, so it does full damage to the enemy that it targets and half to adjacents. Inflicts bleed and poison on all enemies hit by this spell, so that's going to be 3 things hit. Never mind, that's actually not too bad, especially for early game. That's like an alternative Miststalker right there. Miststalker does a high concentration of true damage to the weakest, as well as poisoning them. And while this isn't necessarily true damage, unfortunately, it does have side effects that do true damage. Both bleed and poison are true damage, which means it does HP damage. Those ability itself does do physical damage, which will just hit the armor first. As I mentioned, every single one of these have Razor Teeth for bleed. It gains a little bit extra magic while in delves, and it starts with 75% mana, which is pretty decent. So you can get those off pretty quick. Another pretty decent troop to use in early game as well. So this one, the Ultra Rare from the new faction, creates 6 skulls boosted by bleeding enemies. Inflict bleed on a random enemy, so that's a 2 times, so that's a total of 8 additional skulls potentially, which is a 14 skull. That's not too bad, though with skull spam you generally want a little bit better than that. It's one of the reasons why Bone Dragon isn't too good these days. But I don't know, that one seems a bit more average compared to the other ones. Probably won't be used for much. Only has 30% skull reduction too. Oh wait, never mind. Yeah, that's what that is, 30% score reduction. So, yeah, he's going to be pretty lackluster, unfortunately. Not much he's going to be used for. Maybe an early game Skull Spam. He is only Ultra Rare. So, this is probably one of the cheaper versions of Skull Spam. Though if you're looking for cheap Skull Spam, you normally go with Skeleton. Though I guess you could technically synergize this with a Skeleton and have a purple for skulls and then a red-blue for skulls. Also, red-blue is not really a color that has much Skull Spam, so I guess it fills that gap a little bit. Other than that, we have the Epic, which is so ridiculously easy to get because you get in a bunch of those packs from the event itself. It chooses a color, creates red gems equal to the number of gems of that color, and then inflicts bleed on a random enemy. I'm not sure if you can actually target red itself with that. We'll find out. It might be like Anu Scepter, where you can't actually target the exact same color with it, but we'll have to see. So, for example, if you target brown with this, and there's, let's say, 11 brown, it's going to create 11 red, is what I'm gathering from this. And it also gets a bleed onto a random enemy. This seems kind of weird. I don't know. It's like a gem spawn troop, but it's based on a color on the board. I feel like all of the trolls would be better than this, because more often than not, you'd be able to get a way bigger gem spawn out of it, unless they're specifically counting your color. But I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of instance I'm not thinking of that it might be viable for, but it seems kind of underwhelming, because it doesn't guarantee that there's already going to be a lot of reds on the board. But I don't know. We'll see. It's probably going to miss a lot if we do end up using it. Anyways, other than that, we have the Mythic coming in too. This is coming in. It's going to be in the Glory Gem Guild and VIP chest starting tomorrow, which is in like, what, 6 hours from now, a little bit less. This is the Mythic coming in for Shentang, actually. Right? Shentang? I believe so. It should say somewhere. Yeah, Shentang. And it makes sense. It's a monkey. But it deals magic +5 splash damage, which is full damage to the enemy that it hits and half to adjacents. And then stun all hit enemies, so it'll stun all 3 of them that get hit. It then deals 2 times damage if his attack is greater, and then summons 1 to 3 Monkey Disciples. The biggest issue with this is it doesn't really upscale that well. Unlike Ketris, where you can just keep giving it stats over and over and over again, this thing has a finite amount of damage that will be doing every single time, and there is no way to buff it any higher other than him having a higher attack. But that higher attack doesn't keep making it go higher. As long as his attack is higher, it'll just do double the damage, but there's no way to bring it even further than that. So there isn't really much you could do with this thing. He does technically gain more damage in that he steals 1 magic at the start of every turn, but that is an extremely underwhelming trait. I could see if that maybe did it from all enemies, then that would be actually pretty decent if it stole 1 magic from all enemies per turn, because then he'd gain 4 magic per turn and the enemies would all lose 1. But stealing only 1 magic from the first enemy at the start of every turn is very, very underwhelming. I don't really see a single instance where you'd really bother bringing this thing out for the most part. There are some instances where I guess you might use this as alternative catchers because it does have 1 to 3 summons, which does feed back into him. These summons give HP and create red and yellow, which does feed back to him and helps keep him alive, but I'm not sure. It just seems still pretty underwhelming. If you own a Ketris, there's really little need to ever use this thing. The summons might come into play when you use it for, like, let's say class events or something, but even that would barely ever come out. Yeah, it's a pretty underwhelming Mythic, probably below average, but it is basically a Ketris alternative, kind of. It would be pretty good against things that are mid-range stats, but most PvP wouldn't have those kind of stats unless you were just running 1 or 2 trophies. But we'll see. We'll have to test around with him. But from what I can tell, he's probably not going to be too interesting to use. You'd still want to get him if you have more than half the mythics in the game. But for the most part, just say another one of those kind of average mythics that aren't really going to be used too often. But anyways, hello everyone. Hello Captain. Hello Mr. Jesse. Hello Jan. Hello William. Hello Gustavo. Hello Medieval. Hello Avalone. Hello Overfiend. Hello William. Hello Pamela. Hello Steve. And hello everyone else. Anyways, let's go and do things. So first things first. I guess we start with the Sorcerer class event. There's not much we really need to go and do with it, but I do want to go and get it done. So let's go get it done. Go to a bunch of teams on Mondays. Basically, the easiest way to do this is triple wall into Black Manacle and then switch into Mang. Though, given that we're just going to be doing the lower battles, we're just going to be doing it with Black Manacle the whole time. You can actually use any 15 mana cost weapon. Doesn't have to be Black Manacle. I believe Black Manacle has the best damage of them, though. And we'd want to use a hero class that does gain additional damage from having purple. We actually don't even need a hero class that starts with half mana. So, I almost forget which one of these use purple. I want to use one that we don't currently have leveled, just so we get some EXP for that, because I already have Sorcerer maxed. I'm pretty sure Death Knight gives not half mana, but is a purple. Let me see. Let me change, customize. No, yes. Wait, how do you check? Oh yeah, you have to check here. Yes, it is indeed a purple. So I guess we'll just use Death Knight for this. It doesn't really matter too much what hero class we use. Banner needs to be a +2 purple, +1 green, or the inverse of that, doesn't matter. Let's see, one of those exists. Let's see. Oh yeah, it was all the way over here, the -blue banner. Yeah, there it is. That'll work. +2 green, +1 purple. I guess it would make slightly more sense to have it into purple, but I don't know. It's fine. Same thing either way, pretty much. Anyways, let's get into it. Not gonna make much of a difference. Because all we have to do here is just get wall up into a bunch of other walls, and then it just auto wins just from casting wall over and over again. Oh, I need to see if we have a Corvash battle. This battle is excessively bad against the Corvash, if he's here. The Corvash with the mana core and everything. So basically what we do is we just get this to 15 mana, and once we get it to 15 mana, we cast it. Or this needs to be full mana, and that needs to be 5, which is what I mean by 15. So we just get this, cast it. Oh, why is the button not working? It inverted my buttons again. I hate when Steam keeps doing that. But all we have to do is just cast this 3 times. That will have full mana again. And we basically just keep repeating this cycle over and over until we win. And that's pretty much that. Okay, so we do have a Corvash battle. That is concerning. This team is excessively bad against Corvash. But I guess we'll still run it. It's not too big a deal. Yes, tomorrow's new Mythic. Tomorrow we're getting the monkey. Here we go, all the mana we need. Focus, all good. And we even get Devour. Devour's not really that needed, but it still works. You could use Dawnbringer in the later fights. The whole point of using triple wall, though, is to use a 15 mana cost, so that we can immediately get all of our mana flowing every single time. But well, I guess it would work with Dawnbringer too. You just have to do one whole extra turn of one of these. But yeah, I guess it would be the exact same premise. So Corvash shouldn't be too much of an issue initially. It's just once we start reaching the final 2 that we're going to be doing, it probably will stun us at least once, or drain us, I mean. Well, he stuns too, but the drain is the concerning part. Yeah, you can also use triple Mesmer with Black Manacles. That's what I believe we were using for this event prior to this wall existing. But now that this wall exists, I do feel like the wall team is a little bit better. Just because it cycles mana so quickly. Also, everyone has access to this wall. It only costs 1,200 glory to own 3 of them. That's pretty easy for most people to obtain. I want that purple, but it gives him so much yellow. I guess he doesn't have a Valraven, so it doesn't matter too much. So we'll grab that. Now we need a green or purple. I'm actually going to do that. So we drop all that down, take our green. That should be enough, yeah, because we have +2 on it. That will give him all the armor he needs. Or all the mana, I mean. And it was cast Black Manacle. And repeat the cycle for all of them. Oh, one down, 3 to go. What are the colors of the new faction coming in? Red and blue. I believe it's +2, let's see. It's +2 blue, +1 red, I believe. Let me double check that real quick. It is +2 red, +1 blue, -1 brown is the banner for next faction. +2 red, +1 blue, -1 brown. And that's coming in tomorrow. I'm actually going to double skull this just to make sure the Valor Raven doesn't escape. Probably a little excessive, but definitely don't want it escaping. It'll probably cost us like 30 gems if it does. Also, we don't ever need to touch the board with this team, assuming we don't get drained. Or if there's an extra turn that we might want to take so they don't get it. But, yeah, it's kind of funny. It's one of the few teams that can still exist that never needs to touch the board, pretty much, other than initially. Maybe they'll eventually add a hero class that will allow you to never touch the board. They actually got rid of this mechanic a while back because they didn't want people to, like, never play on the board. Dust Devil team used to do that. Back when Dust Devil had a magic boost ratio, a lot of teams actually were just 4 times or 3 times Dust Devils, simply because you would be able to win without ever touching the board. All you have to do is just cast each one once. And this team's actually somewhat similar to that, and I'm actually surprised they haven't done anything to kind of change it, because they were kind of... it's one of those things that they said in the past they would never want to add to the game, but then added to the game. One of the other things that happened with that was... oh, I already forgot what it is now. Fail. There was one other really major thing. Oh yes, status effects. They mentioned a long time ago that they would never make status effects refresh other status effects, but then one patch randomly they made it so it could. I don't even think it said it in any patch notes either. It just randomly happened one day and they never changed it since. So this team does technically need to touch the board because you need to get the mana initially. But once you get the mana, you pretty much keep the mana, unless you get drained like that. Fail. Okay, there's actually no way for us to work around that unless it gets devoured, and it doesn't. So there goes all of our mana. That's why it's bad against Corvash, as well as any mana drainer in general. That makes you have to play the board again. There we go, we'll get the cycle going. And you should die the next cast. And there we go. So, hello, Skeleton. Hello, Chad. Let's see. You were using Dawnbringer in the last fights. Fills up super fast. Often there's a red or yellow on the board. Oh, yeah. You can normally find 4 times or 5 times to just get it up that way. So, yeah, you would need 1 less wall. That would make sense. Especially if you have a hero class that has that explosion on it. Actually, oddly enough, this class has that explosion too, Death Knight. Death Knight's I'd say probably mid-tier hero class. Very rarely do you use it, but it does have an interesting mechanic on its final trait that does make it somewhat viable in certain situations, and that is that it death marks all enemies when it dies. That's actually not too bad of a mechanic. You can get a lot of free kills out of that. Okay, he is getting dangerously close to full mana. And I don't have any way to actually target out Valor Ravens with this team. Oh, he lived because he had barrier. I was wondering, how did he not die with everyone else? Because he had barrier. Hopefully he doesn't regain it randomly. Okay, there we go. We just kill the skull. Also, we can just let it die off a skull as well. Let it hit into us. Hello, Kevin. Welcome. Oh yeah, all the exercise equipment finally came in today. Luckily, it didn't interfere with the stream. I didn't think it would, but I still figured I'd mention that just in case it did. But, gosh, it was heavy, particularly the treadmill. Who needs a treadmill when you can just bench the treadmill itself? I think it's like a few hundred pounds. It seems so heavy. That's probably a bit of exaggeration, but it seems way heavier than it should be. It's only a mid-sized one, too. Not even like a really large treadmill. Still haven't set it up yet, though. That's going to be like a weekend-long project. Trying to figure out how on earth to set that thing up, as well as the other equipment. Yeah, I've been meaning to get that since last September, but then the hurricane got in the way. But I've had spare funds recently, so it went to that. Because I've been gaining too much weight recently, and I need to get it off. Especially with Valentine's Day coming up, because I don't know why, but the one chocolate that I really like that doesn't have any nuts in it that I can actually eat only tends to be available around my area during like Valentine's time. So it's like the only time of the year I get to have it. And I will be eating it a lot. Actually, there's probably a way to order it online, but it'd probably be more expensive to do that, with shipping and everything. Yeah, we'll cast that again. I'm not even going to bother taking that yellow. It's probably quicker just letting the AI take all the extra turns, because the amount of time it'll take to scout out the entire board is too long compared to how quickly the AI will do it. Even if he needs some mana, as long as he's not gaining barrier, it doesn't matter if we give him mana. As long as we're not giving him mana drain or barrier, it doesn't matter if he takes mana, because there's no way he's going to kill us at these low of stats. Hello, Motown! Welcome! Okay, what do you take here? Grab that green. Get a purple surge into another green, or either or. There we go. Grab another wall. Do another wall. I love these things. I'm still not fully sure how I feel about this trip yet, but it does seem like one of the more decent ones. I still feel like Dwarven Gate is better than it, but it's a pretty close second as far as all the walls are concerned. Okay, I'm gonna take a skull there just because she took a tangle, or not a tangle, a barrier. Oh, she drained one of them. That's not good. I'm actually gotta go out of my way to take a green. Two reasons. One is so he doesn't get an extra turn. The other is just to make sure we get full mana. Speaking of full mana, might as well just grab that. Okay, good. We got the one with barrier taken out. So we just do this again, and that'll be everything we need for Black Manacle. Oh, grab this active. No, actually we didn't need that mana. We don't need green, we just needed brown for the weapon. Good evening, Dragon Ball Z fan. Welcome. Alright, so we gotta deal with this annoying battle 2 more times. What do we take? What do we take? Well, move that blue over. Take that. All this mana we don't need, but gotta move it off the board. Oh, there we go. We got it for free. Nice. Okay. So he'll just take that skull. That's actually good because that means he's not taking mana. Okay, never mind. He still found a way to get all of his mana that he needed. But it should be okay because he didn't drain anything too important. So all we do now is just take a color, let him hit again. And gosh, that's doing a lot of damage. Do I bother with a skull? No, we'll just let him have it. And we'll do it one more time so it gets buffed up. Actually, before I do, let me get an armor. Or a Black Manacle, I mean. Hopefully he doesn't get a random skull, and he doesn't. Good. We'll do this so it doesn't die to a skull. Mana core, why do you have to ruin everything? Okay, now we gotta take a bunch of mana. Take the purple, get a gate down again. Do we take that skull? No, because it's gonna gain enough durability so it doesn't die. Got Devour on something pointless. And at this point, it's probably just quicker to pick 2 skulls. Or not. Nope. Okay. Well then. Well, it's either a skull or it's getting mana back. One goes quicker. There we go. Oh, never mind. It died. Did it really just die to that explosion? Apparently. That works. Well, the problem with me and a lot of chocolates is I'm allergic to nuts, and there is a lot of chocolates that may contain nuts. Like, even if it doesn't necessarily have nuts in it, it's made in the same factory or the same producer or same something that makes it impossible for me to actually eat it safely. Or, you know, or chance that it might not be safe. And if I do have an allergic reaction, that's like a several $1,000 hospital visit, so that's not good. So I'm like excessively careful with what I eat. Also, all the EpiPens I have are still expired because they are ridiculously expensive, especially without insurance. They got a price hike several years ago, and they haven't really gone down much since. At least in America, anyways. Actually, I believe it's almost cheaper for me to literally fly to Toronto for a few days and just buy EpiPens than it would be for me to go through the process of trying to get EpiPens in America. Let's see. Move that over. Get a another thing down. Black Manacle at all. What else? Get that again. Full mana. And one more will do it. or 2 skulls. We're back to the same situation as before. We'll probably just go for 1 cast. I'll ignore the skull for this time. It didn't work out that well the previous time. There we go. Yeah, I don't live anywhere near close enough to the Canadian border to do that, unfortunately. Okay, he's got a Valraven. I should probably take... No, he's blocked on yellow. Never mind. It's fine. Let's take that then. Grab the purple right there. Go for a green. And start spamming these things. Oh no, I've never had a Snickers before. I have had some candies that I can't actually eat when I was younger, or I've had some candies that I ate when I was younger when I wasn't being as safe with it that I technically shouldn't be eating now, especially since they've been producing like more variants of it. But I've actually had M&Ms before, even though I can't have them, as well as Kit Kat and Twix, even though I can't actually really eat them safely. I can technically. The chance of them actually having nuts is pretty low, but it only takes that one time for it to happen, which should definitely be avoided. The only allergic reaction I've ever had other than the very first time, because obviously when I was like 1 year old, my parents wouldn't have known that I was allergic to it. Oh no, Valraven almost just escaped. But it was in the first grade, because my dad ended up getting me like one of those Lunchable things, and he didn't read it, and it ended up having like some kind of like nut little Scooby snack thing. It was like one of those chocolate coin things, and it had like some kind of nut thing in it. And I ended up having an allergic reaction to that. That's the only time since the very first time that I've ever had it. I've been like excessively safe ever since then. Oh yeah, I am way away from the Canadian border. Not even remotely close. Even in New Jersey, I wouldn't be that close. Wait, how did that die to green? Oh, it died off the explosion. Duh. Let's pass that 2 more times. Get a black manacle. He's going to drain something that is pretty irrelevant. And dead. Let's see. Your phone rings every single time right before the stream. Do you have notifications for YouTube? Because if you click the bell thing, I'm not sure if that does that for phones or not. But it might be from that. Or do you just saying that it coincidentally does it every single time? What do we need here? I guess we'll start spamming the walls. We already have all the mana we need for them. We are up against a core Vash though, so hopefully we'll randomly get Devour on them. Come on! 20% chance and then a 1 in 4 chance. Nope, we didn't get it. Yeah, it's going to be very unlikely that we actually get Devour on him. Because we need to roll a 20% into a 25% in order to get him devoured, which is excessively unlikely. Oh, we got devoured, didn't hit the right one. Oh, we should be in the clear now, even if it gets a drain, it doesn't matter. And okay, we got past the most annoying battle we'll have to deal with. And then we just have 2 more, and that's it. Because I'm just doing the free battles. It's not worth it doing I don't know, this game mode takes so many gems relative to what it gets you. Which is why I haven't been bothering to do it beyond the... Oh, stream went down for a second. That's why I haven't been bothering to do it beyond the free battles. It's just way too expensive to do this game mode. Unless you actually need the hero class XP. But if you don't need the hero class XP at all, if you already have the hero class maxed, it is 100% pointless. And even if you do need the XP, it's probably still pointless, because the XP rate that you get for this game mode is actually relatively slow, oddly enough. It's not even the quickest XP you can get in the game. Quickest EXP for hero classes is spamming Explorer challenges over and over again. It gives a higher rate than even spending gems and doing the event for this. The only thing that technically gives a higher rate is constantly spamming 500 gems at the final pack for this game mode. But that would start costing a lot of gems for very little value. But some people do it occasionally. I've even done it some in the past. Just to quickly power level stuff. but it's not really that worth it, but it is technically the quickest. The only other quicker method is just spam Explore. It's about 200 HP per hour, give or take a little bit. If you can win 3 battles per minute in Explorer challenges, it's easily 180 per hour EXP. And you can get higher than that. You can get probably up to about 220, 240 or so. If you can play them very quick. We'll take the purple, get all the manas. And the final battle, then we claim our 25 gems, as well as EXP, but we don't need EXP. So he'll just hit that. And we should just need 2 more black manacle, and that will be match. It's weird because all these are out of order now that he moved them. Here we go. And we're right back to the same situation we have been in the last several battles, where there's 2 of them that survive somehow. I guess it's a combination of us picking skulls and the 25% reflect that keeps doing that. But there we go. And that's that. And now we claim our 25 gems, a bunch of useless sorcerer XP since we already have it maxed, and a trivial 10,000 gold. But there we go. Okay. And we're obviously not going to go any further than that because it's a waste. We only get 1, maybe 2 orbs out of it. Yep, if we would ever backtrack. And now, what else do we actually have to do? We went over all the new thingies. Yeah, we mainly just need to go do the daily delves. So let's go start working towards that. Also, I do need to do PvP. I think I'm still at like none almost. I haven't been doing much. And the event this week is actually just in PvP. But we'll probably get a decent amount of that done this weekend when I mess around with the new stuff in PvP. Like the new bleed mechanics and everything. So I'll easily be able to get that done. But anyways, let's go do some Underworld stuff. So, still doing the same thing, farming level 110 on Warrens. Just trying to get more shards for tomorrow, because, well, new faction is tomorrow. So, yeah, definitely gotta go get those extra shards, so that we can go and use it for the faction tomorrow. So, let's work towards that. Still using the same team I have been, just using Key for it. It's a little bit riskier, but we keep gaining Frost Mage XP, so it's worth it. Okay, what do we take? Grab the green. Fortunately, it doesn't surge. Take the free skull. No drops for an extra turn, I don't think. No, so let's do that. Throw a bunch of manas. Gives us a little bit of everything. He's gonna move me out of order. Oh, no, he doesn't. Perfect. He was about to. He was thinking about it. But even if he did, there's 2 of them, so he would have moved us right back into position, so I guess it wouldn't have mattered much. But after this delve, we'll go hand out a redeem code.
Mana surge. Mana surge.
Okay, we'll get another destroy. Oh, should take those greens first. Grab the blue, get a key. Still in one-shot range. Yeah, I believe the tier 1 and tier 2 battles we can always get one shot on. It's the other ones that are questionable if we do or do not without a thief. Also, I still haven't been using Thief for this. I'm still just using Frost Mage so we gain levels on it. I think this weekend I'm going to finally max it out so we can start using Thief or other stuff. It's the only hero class that's really viable that I haven't maxed yet. Doesn't really get too much of a benefit from being level 100, but it's still nice to get. There's some teams that run elementals with Frost Mage. So we'll get our gold. I guess we just scroll distract him. I'll take the red first though, just because it gives a little bit more mana. All that we don't really need to mess around with. Let's do it that way. Go destroy for everything. Do it again. And then start key spamming. So it doesn't go down all the way yet. Get another double kill. Unfortunately, that shouldn't go down unless we get enough skull damage. Which we do not. And we did not cascade one, so we should live with barely any. Yep, 11 HP. And dead. Okay, what path do we take here? So that's the treasure room. That's not a treasure room. That's a useless 1.2 because this should be a 1.2 or 1.25, so that's better value to go for that first. Then we'll go back to the 1.2, then take the weaker 1.15 to treasure room 1.15, and then the final room. And that would be the order. Hey, let me get rid of this one tab thing, the one with all the spoilers on it. Just blocking half my screen.
Mana surge.
Let's see, we'll take that over.
Mana surge.
Get another key down. Unfortunately, oh, I should take it out skull first. Probably would have been kill range. Yeah, it would have done 37 damage? Yeah, 37, that would have been kill range for the key. So if we find one again, we'll need to make sure to take it so he goes down. There we go, perfect. Didn't even need to go out of our way for it. And he didn't even die, even better. Then we stick a free skull. Even if it wasn't free, it wouldn't matter. It was the final turn anyways. Also, apparently we're gaining another level for hero. If I'm trying to get Frost Mage max, maybe we'll try getting several more levels. Though then again, I don't think we'll be able to reach 1,400. The gap between 1,393 and 1,400 is pretty large. I think that would take like upwards of 12 hours of grinding, if not more. What do we take here? We'll grab, all this looks bad. We'll stick a blue into Cascade chance. Didn't get anything though. And now we can just start spamming this thing. Keep getting keys and everything else. Oh, also, I forgot to say hi to, hello Haley and hello Kraken. Welcome. As well as everyone else. Hope all of you have been having a good week so far. Yeah, we got a map. Hope that patch comes around soon that actually uses those. We're sitting on around 7,500 of them doing nothing. And we keep getting more because we keep using Key Team. Well, we'd get more regardless if we were using Key Team, but Key Team gives a substantial higher amount than just a normal team. Normally you'd get some from Cascades, but this weapon has a, I believe, 20% chance of giving you a map. No, 10% chance. That's actually a little bit lower than I thought it was, but still, even at 10%, with how many times you cast it per battle, and how often it really gets used in the current stage of the game, it gets a lot of maps, even with just that 10%. I've probably gotten more from that key than I've gotten from using Tyrese, even though Tyrese can farm it at like 20 times the rate of key. Maybe not that high, it's like 10 times the rate of key. Oh, why did I take all that mana? I'm like playing as if we're used to doing the previous battle. I don't need green or purple. We did the previous battles when we were doing the Sorcerer class, not for these though. I have that habit a lot with browns as well. Like, even if a team doesn't use brown at all, I'm just so used to using Titan with brown weapon that I just always take browns as a priority, regardless of team. At least when I'm doing, like, default. Yeah, we'll go for this one. Oh yeah, this battle ended up trolling us very hard the other day. Or was it this one? Yes. With all the web this one had, this really trolled us in Tower of Doom, oddly enough. Because the Tower of Doom team I've been using all this week is very magic dependent for damage because of the weapon. It doesn't gain any magic when it's webbed, and also basically has 0 damage, essentially, when it's webbed. So this team just had us perma-webbed for like a few minutes and we couldn't really do anything. Still won the battle though. This was actually the first Tower of Doom ever that we did perfect. Didn't lose a single battle and didn't lose a single Val Raven. That went pretty smooth this time around. Any idea whether the new faction will be good for farming? That I do not know. That we won't really know until it gets released. I can't even really predict if it will or will not. We'll just kind of find out tomorrow. I highly doubt it could be better than Warren's. Almost nothing could possibly top Warren's, unless there's like 2 guaranteed treasure rooms or something. But we'll find out tomorrow. Regardless, I'll probably still be doing Warren's as my farming location. Even if it is better than Warren's, I'd probably still just stick with Warren's. But it most likely will not be better than Warren's. We'll take here. We'll take the green over. Grab. Do we even need key right now? Because it's not going to kill anything, but we also don't have any moves, so I guess we'll waste our turn for it. We'll grab a bunch of reds, destroy everything. Is it advantageous to cash in keys right after reset on a Mythic Friday? You can, if you want to. There's no real extra benefit to it. The only difference with the keys at that specific time will be every mythic drop you will get will be of the new mythic, and it will be impossible to get any mythic other than the new mythic, other than from event keys. I don't even think anything's in event keys this week, because it's Kakarot. But in Glory Gem Guild and VIP chests, every single mythic drop you get will be the new mythic, with a 0% chance to get any mythic that's not the new mythic. Hey, there we go, we got another level. There we got the chest. But, yeah, there's no extra benefit other than that. The only reason why late game people tend, like myself and others, tend to throw down a bunch of keys during this time is just because we have way more than half the mythics in the game, and it's just viable for us to do it so that we gain a bunch of resources that way, or the newer resources, with that being the new mythic. But, yeah, that's the only real difference with the keys, is that the only mythic in it will be the new one, and that will last all the way until next Friday. It starts tomorrow in like 5 hours and 14 minutes or so, and it lasts all the way till next week's Friday, in 7 days from now. Anyways, what order do we do here? A lot of 1.3s. With this 1.15 blocking it, though, I'm not certain if it's actually more viable to go and cut through or not. Oh, we got a Cedric room. Ooh, Okay, that changes things up even more. So I guess we do cut through, because we do have Cedric in play. So we go there, there, there. I've never done that order for one of these. That's a really strange order. We go there, 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 and then we end it with that 2 battle. Interesting. Anyways, let's go do that. But yeah, I keep forgetting that's the wrong button. Yeah, I believe they'll add that to all new factions. I don't know why they haven't updated it for old factions, though. But I'm pretty sure the new faction will give you red-blue arcanes. I would assume so. We'll find out on tomorrow, if it does or doesn't. It would make sense if it does, but if it does, it would also not make sense, because why doesn't every other delve get updated to that point? Because only Warrens currently does it. But I assume that's just going to be a new standard for delves, that the last room will give arcanes, to help newer players get all the arcanes they need. And also just to compensate with trait stones a little bit better, because this game mode actually doesn't really give too many trait stones, for the most part. Should I wait till he casts? I believe the answer is yes, so I'm actually going to deliberately give him a free turn here. He doesn't... What? I gave him a free turn and he doesn't even take it. Okay, that's weird. Anyways, let me destroy everything. Hopefully we don't randomly win on accident. I wish he would actually win already. Or not win, but do his cast. There we go. I guess now we're moved back to normal. And he's dead. Do they all give arcanes now? I haven't actually been doing the other ones to know for sure. Because I've only been doing Warrens and... Well, I guess I've been doing the Tuesday events. I haven't been paying attention to the Tuesday events. I just do them for their shards and then go from there. What do we take? Let's grab some greens. What else we need? Move that down, then take the purples. Oh wait, actually why I take purple? I'm doing the same thing I was doing the previous battle. Don't need purple. I'm taking purple greens. So we'll take the red. Grab or destroy. Okay, we'll get one more in there. And just key it down. Okay, and after this battle, we'll get the Cedrics and have an absurd amount of gold. Watch we reach 600. And then we just one-shot everything. Actually gives one of the highest gold rates in the game, too. I think really quick 3-trophy PvP is still technically higher. But it's around the rate of the exact same thing. Especially if we get gold loot off the chest at the end. But Cedric's extra gold that he ends up giving for the delve is so insanely strong. Not this one Cedric, but the 4 that we're about to gain as soon as we do that battle. Especially with a team like this that gains gold so easily. One of the reasons I even still use this team here. Because there's 3 rooms where you could possibly get the Cedric. With the middle room being the most likely one to have it. Which is what we got here. Hopefully he doesn't move us. He does have a really annoying mechanic, and he starts with half mana too, so it's really easy for him to get it. But hopefully he doesn't. Okay, that should be one-shot range, so I'm going for that. And it does kill, very nice. If that didn't kill, he would have moved us, and that would have been bad. There we go. Okay, so now we have 600 gold for all battles. We only had 200 gold there. And now every battle we do should be 600. Which means we do over 300 damage per key hit, which means we're one-shotting everything, even these harder battles that have higher stats. So as you can see, we have 600 gold. That's almost broken strong. And that does 300 something damage, which is way more than enough to kill them. And we're still 1 mana short, fail. And then we instant 1 kill again. And that should be enough to easily one-shot everything. Even at max delve, that's almost enough to one-shot everything. And we do get to keep all that gold, of course. And it does get boost ratioed based on our value that we have. Like dragon armor and all the other bonuses that we have. The only thing that doesn't work is difficulty bonus. Because this Delves has a locked difficulty with normal. So setting the difficulty higher doesn't do anything. It used to in the past because there was a glitch with it, but it doesn't anymore. There's Spirit Fox being its annoying self, but luckily this has stealthy. Normally the other way to completely avoid is also have stealthy on your hero by using Thief. But we're currently leveling Frost Mage, so we don't have stealthy, unfortunately. Almost at our level, so very close. And then we have one more delve to do. And then we just wait until tomorrow's delve comes out, and then we throw an absurd amount of shards. Friday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be throwing down pretty much all of our keys that we have. Or not keys. Normally it would be keys, but all of our shards that we have in order to get all the new stuff. And I might even mess around with the new legend before I bother with the delve. I'm not sure yet. But because that's probably the most interesting thing coming specifically tomorrow is the new legend. Because it finally makes bleed viable. The new legend and the new rare both make bleed excessively viable. So it'll be fun to mess around with them. Making like early game teams with the other one and just general fun teams with the legends. Not going to be anything too broken, but it's probably the best legend and rare that any faction has gotten so far. The legend and rare coming from the next faction. Definitely a good place to throw shards at. What do we take here? Oh, if it looks bad. I'm actually going to do that. Yeah, she left all the reds there. I didn't see that. I thought it would align us with a 3. But apparently it aligned us with a 5 times because he does not want it. And even this final battle, we still easily one-shot everything with key. And dead if we could ever get the cast. And there we go. Super easy with that much damage. And we gained a level out of it. And we gain a decent amount of gold. We get 2,000 something there and then the 1,000 something there from the room itself. Hey, we finally hit 400 purple. And we're almost at 200 or everything else. Our purple is twice as high as anything else now. There we go. And let's claim everything else. What do we have? Oh, pure shards. Exactly what we want to see right before we need to open a bunch of them. Perfect. Ooh, a dreaded 1.2 room. Oh, but it makes up for it with another Cedric room. So even though we have a lower multiplier, multiplier actually doesn't affect the amount of in-battle gold we get. So us getting that Cedric is still way better value, so that's nice. Wow, this has a lot of 1.2s. Almost this entire delve is like 1.2s. But oh well, okay. So let's go take the top path. Actually, we take the exact same path we just took from the previous delve. Except we get slightly lower multiplier, but we still get Cedric. Okay, I'm gonna need to wait until we cast again. It's fine if we have greeted first, it's just slightly slower. It's safer but slower, but we don't really need that because we're about to get a Cedric room, which just makes it so quick that it's almost impossible to lose. Okay, what do we need here? Grab gold, grab that. Get destroy on everything. There, double kill. Oh yeah, I forgot we don't one shot yet. 2 more battles and we will. Wait, what did she die to? Poison? Wait, what did she die to? Instant replay. What did she die to? Okay, apparently it's still behind a little bit. Let's see, we'll find out in a second. She died to... She died to... What? She just randomly died for no reason. Or did she die to the... Oh, I see what happened. That's weird. She died to the skull damage, but it didn't kill her with the skull damage. It, like, delayed with a visual glitch, and then she died once it realized it was his turn and it was dead. Oh, maybe that's what they did to finally fix that visual glitch. So there's still a visual glitch with skulls killing out troops. That might have actually been something they added in this most recent patch, because I haven't seen that much lately. But I think it's finally a workaround for that one glitch where things happen, when something dies off of skulls, or with really weird amount of damage when you do a bunch of board control. But it's normally when you destroy skulls. It sometimes will show the troop is still alive, but it's actually dead. I believe they have a new check as of the most recent patch, because I haven't seen that much until recently. But I believe they added something in the most recent patch where it checks on the person's turn if it is alive or dead, and then it just kills it out if it's dead, but still showing a visual there. I guess that's what it's doing now, because I don't recall that until just recently. It's probably one of those random bug fixes that wasn't mentioned that was mentioned. They always do like a thing in every single patch notes where it's like, oh, we also did a bunch of other bug fixes, and then they never state what any of them are, unfortunately, or very, very few of them. And that must have been one of them. Have you seen it before this patch? I've personally never seen that until literally just now. Okay, we take this room because it's Cedric. All the kingdoms will be in the Underworld. Yes, eventually every single kingdom will have a Underworld faction, if that's what you're asking. If you're talking about new content, currently, yes, all new kingdoms are technically going to be factions within the Delve. This is basically their workaround to adding 1 billion kingdoms to the overworld. But they did say that they might eventually add another kingdom to the overworld. We haven't had one since Sinner Mirage, which was added, I believe, in August, if I'm not mistaken. So it's been a long while since we've had a new kingdom, which we knew was going to happen. Normally they do a new one every 2 to 3 months. Now they're probably doing one like one a year, if that. Wait, is this the room we do? Gosh, it's so bad with a 1.2 multiplier. But we don't really have a choice because every other room is pretty pitiful. So yeah, let's do this one. Yeah, there's eventually going to be like 30-something factions in the Underworld. Obviously, right now, we don't have anywhere near that many. And it's going to take like 2 years before we reach that point. Because there's, what, like 7 factions starting tomorrow? I think there's 6 right now. So we're still like 2 years away before the Underworld gets full. Maybe even a little bit longer. And at that point, they're probably adding a whole other world as well. Or they'll find some kind of fix for that by then. They have 2 years to think of something. We take this one because it's 1.2, go for the other smaller rooms, and that'll be that. It's worth the wait. Factions are similarly exciting to new kingdoms. The only real thing that new factions don't really have, though this one's kind of breaking that trend, is they don't really add new mechanics. Normally when new factions came into the game, I mean new kingdoms came into the game, they would normally implement some kind of new mechanic, most of the time, not always. But I guess that kind of isn't true anymore because this new faction technically is adding a new mechanic. It's adding Bleed. Even though Bleed kind of exists, it's going to be the first instances of it actually being viable with the new legend as well as the new rare that's coming in. And technically all 4 of them have it at 100%. Which are the first instances of it being capable at 100%. Only the rare and the legend are going to be particularly good for it though. Where did the concept of the Underworld come from? Why do they mirror each kingdom? They basically added as a way just to upgrade the kingdoms further. They needed a way to basically keep adding new content every so often without actually adding new kingdoms, because they're starting to get too many kingdoms to the point that it was breaking the economy because it takes so long for each kingdom to cycle back around. It already takes like half a year before each kingdom cycles back around. It would only be longer if they added more kingdoms. So they decided to do Underworld instead. It actually came from, I believe, their original concept that they wanted to do for dungeons, but instead they did like a really kind of, not necessarily rushed, but like a really dumbed down version of actual dungeons. But I believe that's something they've been wanting to do almost since the beginning of the game, something like what the delves are right now, and factions, or particularly delves themselves. It's basically what dungeons should have been. Because dungeons are basically dead content. It's just something you do really quick these days to go and get your free diamonds and shards and stuff, so that you can go farm mythics. But they don't really have any kind of difficulty or anything compared to delves. They even have the whole 3 battle system per day, just like they're basically the exact same thing, except that delves are the proper version of it. $84K total faction right now. Now that's a challenge. They are going to eventually make pure faction easier, so it might not be as big of a challenge. It's still going to be ridiculously difficult, but they realize that they made it a little bit too difficult, because very few people have even one faction completed. And if they do, it's normally the what's it called? The crypt, because it's so easy compared to all the other ones. But they are looking to make tweaks to it in some degree to make it a little bit easier to do pure faction. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to give out code after that one delve. Well, we finished all the delves, so let's go give out a code now. There we go. Oh wow, we gained a lot of gold for that. We got 21,600 at the end, and we also got all the gold from using a Cedric team with the 600 gold from all the extra 400% we got from that one room. There we go. How many shards do we have for tomorrow? If it'll ever load. But while it's loading, let me go get the code ready. While it's loading into the other screen. Anyways, let's go mark this. Put that right there. Mark it. Copy, copy. Save all that mess. That right over there. Make sure it works. And yes, it does. Copy, paste this over to chat. Copy, copy. Paste, paste. And there you guys go. There's the redeem code. Use it on gemsofwar.com underneath the game code section. Your invite code's found underneath the settings menu. Whatever your game says there, your redeem code is, or the redeem code is right over there. The random numbers and letters. Actually, there's no numbers this time, just letters. But those, just copy paste that. And you use it at the same location as always, gemsofwar.com underneath the game code section, or simply click that link. They'll both bring you to the same location. And gives the same reward as always: 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, and 2,500 gold. These codes do not work on console, unfortunately. They work on every platform except for PS4 and Xbox One. But every other platform they work for. But yeah, does anyone else have any other questions? Otherwise, yeah, we'll be heading out for the night. We'll be back tomorrow morning in 13 hours from now at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll be going over the new faction as well as the new mythic at that time. I'll probably do the key opening beforehand for the new mythic. If I wake up early enough, I should. I might even go over the new faction as well if I have enough time to get that video out before it interferes with the stream. But yeah, we'll go over all the new content. We're getting quite a bit of new stuff tomorrow, so I have a lot to mess around with, that's for sure. And we'll have another redeem code then as well. Let's see. But yeah, did anyone else have any other questions I missed? So let me know. And no problem, everyone. What is the topic here with the kingdoms? I don't know what you mean by that. But we were just talking about kingdoms and factions and stuff. And that another one's coming tomorrow. Oh, that reminds me. I need to go open a bunch of glory keys. I actually have 2 tasks for it. Might as well do that real quick. Let's open 50 of them and see what we get. Watch us randomly get a mythic. No. Oh, we got Crimson Arrow. That's actually a pretty decent troop. I don't know why I don't have it maxed yet. And we got 11 gems. Wow, we got, we ended up getting 24 gems for that. We got 11 gems from the glory keys themselves and 13 gems from daily tasks. That was definitely worth it. I would do that at any time. Exchange 2 glory keys for a single gem. It's actually a pretty good exchange rate, at least this late in the game. I feel like earlier in the game it'd be better the other way around. But this late in the game, I wouldn't actually mind converting all my glory keys to gems. Spend tonight reading your instruction manual. Oh, what, for the... for putting together the things? Yeah, that's gonna be a weekend-long project. I'll probably start that like midway after the stream on Saturday, and it probably won't even be done by the end of Sunday. I don't even want to think about that. I'm so bad at putting things together. But we'll see how it goes. Anyways, guys, have a wonderful week. Best of luck if you're going to be opening Glory Gem Guild or VIP keys tomorrow for the new Mythic. You'll be able to do so all the way for the next week. And yeah, I'll catch you all later. Hope you have a wonderful week. Leave a like if you enjoyed the stream. And goodbye, everyone.